Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It's coming up on 6 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Um, I want to talk briefly about a past video I made. The title of it was uh, something like Lazy Moocher Trump Supporters, uh, something along that line. Okay, to be honest with you guys, I could be one of my worst critics. Every time I go by that video, I cringe. I always think maybe I was a little too harsh. Maybe I mistitled. I did the title wrong. Let me just explain to you. I haven't changed it though. And let me explain to you guys why. I was just trying to make a point. Walking a mile in another man's shoes. That's how we could sum it up. Um, for instance, let me just say, there was a time I was driving a truck for a company called Hoboken Wood Floors, delivering 80-pound, minimum 80-pound bundles of hardwood flooring, hundreds and thousands of them every day. And I've always prided myself on being a good worker. When I show up, I get the job done. Even when I was using and hungover, I didn't see any point in going in if I was going to do my job. I always thought if I don't do it today, I'll have to do more tomorrow. I've always had a good work ethic that I learned from my parents, especially from my father. Um, uh, I believed at that time too that I was invincible. I was probably in my mid 30s, strong, tall, big, and I didn't think there was anything that could hurt me. I saw other workers hurting their back. There was so many back injuries at this place, and uh, out of work. And I got to admit, in the back of my head, I was like, that guy is, he's milking it. He could be back here. And I thought that a lot. And then it happened to me. Not only did my disc, it ruptured. And not only did it rupture, but a piece of it moved down my spinal column and wedged against my nerves. I had what they call drop foot, partial paralyzation. I was in danger of losing control of my bladder. I was in danger of losing permanent use of my man parts. It was a bad injury. It's because I dedicated myself to that job. Um, if I came back and asked if there was any warehouse work I could do, and they basically just threw me out. I was their top earner, and they just threw me out on unemployment, and then I was on disability. And now I understood. I understood what these other guys before me had gone through. The guys that I thought were milking it. The pain was unbelievable. If you guys have ever had back injuries, it's just you want to die. It's just 24/7, nonstop. But here I'm coming up to my point now with the coronavirus. We have the stimulus checks. I was just listening on the news about something like $400 to $600 a week. People that are out of work due to the coronavirus should get $600 a week for up to at least 4 months, which is great. I've got nothing against any of this. All I was seeing in that video is what I'm hoping here is this could be maybe it'll be a learning moment that when I got hurt, I learned the hard way that I put myself in that guy's shoes. That he wasn't milking it, And it's easy to judge somebody when you're not going through what they're going through. My point here is a lot of times conservatives and Trump supporters will say stuff like you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You're just lazy. You don't want to work. And that's not the case a lot of times. And my point here is that hopefully, having to go through these hard periods, everybody's sharing this hard stretch. Maybe it'll be a little more understanding. There's stuff just out of your control, and within the blink of an eye, we could find ourselves without a paycheck, and worse. Like I said, even the best workers, even the hardest workers, the most dedicated workers, can find themselves without a paycheck and with no hope of getting one. Rent to pay, mortgage to pay, with no fault of their own, totally out of their their realm of being able to handle it. And that's all. That's what I was trying to say. When I did say, I did the title of the video, like I said, I'll have to change it because every time I see that title, I cringe. You know, I titled it wrong. I was just trying to make a point that it's easy to judge somebody when you're not going through what they're going through. And now that more of us are going through this kind of period where we're going to need a helping hand, due to no laziness or anything on our own part, maybe, hopefully, in the future, we'll all be a little more empathetic before we jump and call somebody lazy or a moocher. That's just my point. And I do apologize for the title of that video. I really didn't intend to call them lazy moochers. What I was trying to do was put them, just for a second, maybe they might understand how I felt during that period of disability when I had dedicated myself to the company. I was a company man. I'd come back with an empty truck, a pocket full of checks, best truck, best route. I had the Golden Coast, as they called it, Westport, the filthy rich area up from New York City, Westport, Southport, Greenwich. That was my route because I was the best driver. And as soon as I got hurt, they threw me to the wolves, man. And like I said, now, hopefully, the people that have said stuff like this before, maybe they'll understand. You know, it's not always the case. You know, it's not about being lazy. Sometimes you just get life deals you a bad hand, and you got to do what you can. That's it. All right. So you guys have a good Thursday. Take care. Stay healthy.